Hello everyone, today I'm going to be reviewing Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Released in 2007, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare revolutionized the first-person shooter genre with its gritty, realistic portrayal of modern warfare and its emphasis on tight gameplay mechanics. Developed by Infinity Ward and published by Activision, it brought the Call of Duty franchise into the present day with a compelling single-player campaign, an unforgettable multiplayer mode, and fresh mechanics that set new standards in the FPS game. To start, I want to discuss gameplay and mechanics. I want to talk a little bit about the realistic combat. Modern Warfare was a departure from its World War II roots, featuring modern weapons, vehicles, and warfare tactics. The game introduced a more tactical feel, utilizing elements like cover systems and a variety of combat situations such as stealth missions and intense explosive firefights. I also want to discuss some gameplay. The mechanics of shooting were highly refined, offering fluid weapon handling with responsive aiming, recoil, and a wide range of modern firearms. Weapons varied from rifles to submachine guns, and players had the option to customize loadouts in both single-player and multiplayer modes. I would also like to discuss the health system. The health system in Modern Warfare featured regenerating health, a mechanic that was still novel at the time. This added to the pacing, where players would need to find cover and let their health regenerate after taking damage, promoting more dynamic cover-based tactics. I would also like to somewhat discuss the AI behavior. The AI enemies displayed smart behavior, taking cover, flanking, and reacting to players' movements, making the encounters feel less scripted. This gave the game a sense of unpredictability, making each battle intense and requiring players to adapt their tactics. I would also like to discuss some level design. The campaign's level design is varied from dense urban areas to wide open fields, ensuring diverse playstyles and strategies. The iconic All Gillied Up mission, where players stealthily navigated through a war-torn city in sniper gear, is still considered one of the best levels in gaming history. Now, I didn't play this mode, but it's still worthy to note for the game review. The multiplayer component was a major highlight, featuring fast-paced combat, player progression, and a skill-based ranking system. It introduced a rewarding unlock system where players could earn new rewards, new weapons, perks, skins, all based on their performance. The multiplayer also introduced kill streaks, for example, the UAV, airstrikes, and helicopters, which gave players rewards for eliminating enemies in succession, adding an extra layer of strategy. Next, I want to get more into the campaign, and I'm going to start off with some major characters, in my opinion anyways. To start, I want to talk about Captain John Price. He's a fan favorite character. Captain Price serves as the player's main mentor and ally throughout the campaign. A grizzled British SAS operative, Price excludes leadership, courage, and tactical expertise. His memorable quotes, for example, "Price, I'm going to need you to take a knee," has become iconic in gaming history. Price's role leads players through several major missions, notably working with US forces to track down a rogue Russian ultra-nationalist. Next, I want to talk about Soap McTavish. The main protagonist of the game, Soap, is a newly recruited member of the British SAS. His journey through the campaign offers a perspective on the brutal reality of modern warfare, and his evolution as a soldier is marked by numerous key moments, such as his intense training and combat experiences. Soap's role in the game is introduced as a fresh recruit who quickly earns respect of his superiors and fellow soldiers. I would also briefly discuss the main antagonist, Imran Zakhaev. As the primary antagonist of Modern Warfare, Zakhaev is a ruthless Russian ultranationalist whose actions catalyze the global conflict. His rise to power and dangerous ideology set the stage for high-stakes war that envelops the game. Zakhaev's main role in the game is that his influence leads to a series of deadly conflicts, culminating in a memorable final showdown. Next, I would like to discuss the story and setting. Specifically, I want to talk about the narrative. The story follows multiple protagonists, primarily Soap and Captain Price, as they attempt to thwart a series of escalating threats posed by Russian ultranationalists and a rogue regime. The plot is fast-paced with numerous twists, including betrayals and shocking character deaths. The narrative is an excellent job of immersing players in a global conflict, exploring the complexities of war and the cost of survival. I also want to discuss some of the setting. Modern Warfare is set in various locations worldwide, including the Middle East, Russia, and the United States, all of which are portrayed with gritty realism. The environments are designed to take the player to different parts of the world in a virtual environment, as well as feel the weight of the ongoing global crisis. Next, I want to talk about some of the visuals and sound design, much like my other reviews. So to start with the graphics, for its first time, Modern Warfare was a graphical powerhouse, at least for the Call of Duty series. The game features stunning visual fidelity with detailed environments, realistic lighting, and immersive animation. The use of smoke, explosives, and weather effects heightens the immersion and emotional impact of each mission. Now for sound design. The sound design is top-notch with realistic weapon sounds, explosive effects, and atmospheric background noise. The voice acting is superb with high-quality performances from both the protagonists and antagonists. The soundtrack, composed by Harry Gregson Williams, delivers intense, emotional scores that match the high stakes of the story. Next, I want to talk about some of the impact and legacy of COD 4 Modern Warfare. To start, I want to talk about how it revolutionized the genre. Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare not only redefined the Call of Duty series, but the entire FPS genre as a whole. The introduction of customizable loadouts, the streamlined multiplayer progression system, and the inclusion of kill streaks influenced the design of countless future shooters. I also want to talk about the multiplayer influence. The game's multiplayer modes set the blueprint for nearly every modern FPS since, from Battlefield to Halo and beyond. It laid the groundwork for many of the Battle Royale features that would become so popular in later years. I'd also like to discuss some of the cultural phenomenon. Modern Warfare became a cultural touchstone for gamers, spawning sequels, remasters, and a thriving esports scene. Its legacy is felt in every shooter released after it. In conclusion, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare remains one of the most influential video games ever made, with its engaging single-player campaign, groundbreaking multiplayer mechanics, and memorable characters. It redefined what an FPS could be. While it's not over a decade old, its impact is still felt today, making it a must-play title for any fan of the genre. I'd also like to discuss a few pros and cons since I'm still here. So for the pros, I have written here that there is engaging and memorable single-player campaign missions, revolutionary multiplayer mode with deep progression, which I didn't get to play, but I'm very familiar with the concept. Great character development and narrative depth, which is 100% true, right? You gotta think like the relationship between all the characters and, you know, the struggles you go through with taking down the enemy, all that kind of stuff, as well as the excellent audio visual experience for its time. Think back in the PS3 era, not PS2, my bad, PS3, the Xbox era, and you know, when you think of that generation, you think of the first true HD console. So for the time, this was like next gen, fancy, amazing graphics. It still holds up pretty well today, I'd say. So there's only a couple cons here. The campaign is pretty short, you know, it's 6 to 8 hours, 10 hours at the most. Unless you're trying to go for achievements, then it's going to take you a long time to beat the game probably. But the only problem I have with it is that it has a short story. It could be a little longer, I think. As well as with any Call of Duty, the multiplayer sucks for beginners. You have to be good at the game to really enjoy it, at least with the multiplayer side of things. I remember playing multiplayer Call of Duty and I was just terrible at multiplayer, so I've always sucked. Personally, I would say 10 out of 10 game. This is classic Call of Duty. This is the perfect era for Call of Duty. If you haven't gotten this game or ever played it, you're definitely missing out, because I would say this is the Call of Duty that really started it all. Without this game's success, we wouldn't have modern Call of Duty today. This game isn't even truly the success. There's a couple games after this that really blew up the franchise, but this game is definitely notable for bringing it out of the World War II roots and bring it into the modern era. With that, I'm going to end the video here. I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. Please go to my channel, tune in to my friends' YouTube channels as well. Hit my Discord server and join. I just had a bunch of people join, so, you know, if you're looking for some friends or whatever, you want a place to chill, you want to meet me, you want to talk to me, then that's the place to be. Thank you and goodbye.